Did you know there are certain things that good Etsy shops or successful Etsy shops have in common? Most of them have all the same things in common. So today I want to dive into what those are and really talk about the anatomy of a good Etsy shop. Let's go. Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. I'm your host, LL. Glad to be back hanging out with you guys as usual, talking about Etsy, talking about growing your business, anything I can do to help you guys. Today I have a really good episode for you, and I want to talk about the quote unquote good Etsy shops and what they all have in common. After analyzing hundreds and hundreds of Etsy shops and coaching hundreds and hundreds of Etsy sellers, I myself have really kind of learned and used a lot of the tactics and a lot of the things that the top Etsy shops have used. And that's really how I was able to grow my business early on when I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was like a lost little boy in a forest. So what I did was just take the time and start analyzing what the top shops were doing. And I learned, these things that I want to talk about today. And they're really, I break these down into two areas. Tangible, which is things that you can see on the surface, and intangible, which are not easily seen. They're kind of hidden. They're easier to miss. And think about an iceberg. The tangible things are the things above the water that you can easily see. The intangibles are below the water that you can't easily see. So I want to dive into each and talk about them so that you can, of course, use this information and kind of compare your own Etsy shop and see, are you doing these things? Can you do these things? Should you be doing these things? And all the answers are yes, or should be yes. So the first thing I want to dive into today is tangible. These are the things that you can look at a shop and tangibly see, okay, they're doing this or they're not doing this a lot more easily than the intangible. So the first thing that's important as far as tangible is a professional shop setup. And still it boggles my mind today where you still see shops that just are not set up properly. They just have not taken the time. They don't have a banner image. They don't have a logo. It just looks kind of shady, to be honest, if you're not taking that extra time. Now, mind you, it doesn't have to look perfect. You can iterate on it later and improve on it later, but at least take the time and set up all your shop sections so it looks a little bit more professional. And I think it's just the way that Etsy, when you open an Etsy shop, they want you to put up listings first. And they don't make you set up your shop sections first. So I don't think people think that they are important, and a lot of people just don't come back and do that. But it does hurt you when it comes to SEO. It hurts you when it comes to a potential customer's perception of your business. If you don't have policies, if you don't have an about section, it's just like, what is a shop legit? Is it not legit? You don't just go into a random store. You're driving down the road, you see a random store. You know it's a store because there's stuff in the window, but there's no banner, there's no sign, there's no open sign. There's no, of course, store name. You're not just going to walk in there and be excited to go buy something. You're probably going to think that you're going to get robbed, or the store is not open, or it's out of business. So the same thing goes with your Etsy shop. So take the extra time and make sure you're setting up your shop and improving on it as you go. The next thing that most shops have in common that are doing pretty well is they have over 200 listings. They don't have a couple of listings. They have a good build out of their product or product catalogs. And this is important because as you grow, as you continue to add listings, you're going to find out what works, what doesn't work. You're going to get better. And it's just like putting in the reps. It's like the more you do something, the better and more efficient you're going to get at it. And it's going to improve, and you're going to learn and be able to grow naturally by doing more listings. And you can be a lot strategic about it. You just don't want to put up crap listings. But again, as you continue to build out your shop, you're going to start to get better at it. You're going to learn what's starting to sell, what's getting traffic, what's not getting traffic. And all of those listings are help making you a leader in that space, in your particular niche. So it's important to have a nice, substantial build out of listings. It not only increases your chances of getting seen more, it also increases your chances of people purchasing more, because all those keywords, all those listings are factors that come into play when it comes to the algorithm and how you're being perceived by the algorithm and how people are perceiving you as well. So make sure you're continuing to work on your product catalog. You don't want to, out of the gate, have 200 listings, but it's something you're going to work towards and then eventually work beyond that. But I started seeing my biggest increase, my biggest boost in sales and performance after I hit the 200 listing mark. So have that as a goal, short-term or long-term, wherever you're at in your journey, but it should be a goal of yours. The next one, I already alluded to this, is a defined niche. You gotta have a niche. You can't just be trying to cater to everyone. You can't have listings all over the place, all over the board, different subject matters all over the board. You can't offer, printable workout calendars and then a Christian shirt and then a shelf. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to work that way. The algorithm's not going to know what the heck you're specializing in. It's certainly not going to send traffic your way because people are going to be super confused. So pick a defined niche. You can add different niches later on or revamp your shop to incorporate different niches. But I think a lot of new shops they kind of want to do a bunch of different things. And it creates a lot of confusion for your customers, for the algorithm, and it's hard for them to send traffic your way if you have things that are all over the place. So you're better off having a defined niche with defined product catalogs, where you can kind of take a stronghold with a particular subject matter, a particular niche, and build on that. Build out all your keywords and your listings, and then you're gonna have a better chance of bringing in more traffic. The next is seasonal flow. So most of the shops that I've seen and things that I've done personally is there's seasonality built into shops in the sales cycle and buyers. So you're going to take advantage of that by having a seasonal flow, whether you're offering specific seasonal products, specific holiday type products. Most anything can be revamped to be a gift or to be a gift for Christmas. So you can at least take advantage of those type of events and holidays. But some shops, have more seasonality built in for, wedding season or for the summer season. So take advantage of the seasonal flow and change around your shop, change around your listings with different keywords, different products, and take advantage of that seasonal flow. And you're going to change things around when that time comes. And you see this all the time with big box stores out there. You see that you go into Target and they're prepping for Christmas, and then after Christmas they're prepping for Mother's Day and then Father's Day. It's a cycle. They're taking advantage of that seasonal flow. So think how you can do that with your own business to revamp things, keep things fresh, and keep that particular flow with your own shop and business. The next thing is, and this is kind of related to the seasonal flow, is keep things not stagnant. You want to make sure to have regular changes and regularly add new listings in your shop to keep things fresh for people that are coming back, because you will start to have people that come back and buy from you. So you don't want things to always look the same, and you always want to be testing new things, testing new products, testing new SEO, and it just helps keep things fresh. It keeps giving the algorithm data. It shows the algorithm that you're not stagnant. And I found that if you're consistently working on your shop for whatever reason, I think it's just the algorithm likes to see that you're present working. You will see a bump in traffic and a bump in performance, rather than if you just let it sit. I think you start to see somewhat of a lull. So if you're in there taking action, adding new listings, revamping listings, changing things within reason, all right? There's things that there's a strategy behind this. You can't just go in there and randomly change listings, because that's going to hurt you. But I'm talking about in a strategic way, if you're keeping things fresh and new, it will definitely help your shop. And you see that a lot with the successful shops on Etsy. And again, taking a nod from big box stores. You go in there, things are never the same. Things are always different. The end caps are always different. Even in a grocery store, every time you walk in there, the end caps are different. So the same thing should apply to your online store as well. Keep it fresh, not stagnant. The next thing is, most successful shops, their listings are keyword optimized. So you can tell that they are doing keyword research. You can tell that they are laying out their listings in a strategic way with the keywords that they're using, and they're using a lot of keywords in their title, in their descriptions, and in their tags. They're not just throwing up listings with 3 keywords in there. So they are keyword optimized, and they're taking that extra time which may seem like a chore. It may be a pain in the butt early on, but it's going to help you later on with the performance. And that's the most vital part of a successful listing and a successful shop is, of course, the keywords. So take that extra time early on to optimize your listings with the appropriate keywords. And it's not going to be perfect. You're going to iterate on it. You're going to change things as you learn, but at least start off with start off on the right foot and try to do your best to optimize your listings with the appropriate keywords. The next thing I got for you, and this is a big one, is a good profit margin. You don't see a lot of successful shops with low profit margins. All right, it's hard to run a business, especially a small business, with a low profit margin because you hit a fee increase. Of course, you see this in the last fee increase, people freak out, lose their minds. But that's all part of business. You will have increases, you'll have inflation, you'll have increases in fees, increases in supply costs. It happens all the time. There's ebbs and flows of business. And if you don't have a high enough profit margin, it's going to eat you alive and you're going to go out of business. So you can't run a business with a 5% profit margin. You just can't do it. You're going to have no room for sales. You're going to have no room for promotions. And you're certainly going to have no room for fee increases. So if you're thinking about doing a business, or maybe you're already running a business, switch to a higher profit margin. Whether you got to change the products that you're offering, increase your prices, launch a business that has higher profit margins based on doing the research early on with what you can get materials for, what you can make a product for. Figure out what your profit margin is going to be. Include the fees. Give yourself some wiggle room in there for fee increases, for material cost increases, so that you're not going to suffer if there are changes, which there inevitably will be changes, but you want to be able to kind of survive through that. You just can't do it on a 5 to 10% profit margin. It's really, really tough. Walmart can do it, Target can do it because they sell billions of items. You know what I mean? You can, if you're making a 5% profit margin, you sell 1 million units, you're good to go. You're not going to sell 1 million units, or at least most of you, 99.9% of you will not sell 1 million units. So we're the small guy, so we got to do things a little bit smarter with how we are launching our businesses and products based on a solid profit margin. The next and the last thing I have for you is use marketing strategies, sales, coupons, promotions. You should have a marketing calendar where you're doing these regularly. Again, taking a nod from big box stores. They do this stuff because it works. They have a regular marketing calendar. Big marketing holidays, we're offering percentages off. Again, you need to have a good profit margin so you can do this, but it creates excitement, it creates urgency, and it drives conversions, which is super important. And all this stuff, this tangible stuff that I just talked about, leads into consistent sales, which is an easy thing for you to see tangibly, but I don't really want to just say. Successful shops have consistent sales and a lot of sales. Of course, I mean, that's naturally, it's not going to help you if I just said that, but all those things that I just talked about are the tangible things that they're doing that lead to the consistent sales. So the next part of this that I want to talk about is intangible things that are not so easy to see, that are kind of below the surface that shops are doing. And these are things, of course, that I've been doing for years, but other shops are doing these things as well. The first is high customer demand. So they have shops and products based on high demand. They've done their research. They've done research based on keywords or products that they see, the traffic that's coming for those particular products, for those particular niches. So they know that there is a high demand and they're taking advantage of that demand. So you can't easily see the demand on the surface, but there are tools that you can use to research demand. Keyword tools such as Allura, there's eRank, Marmalade. You can see based on keyword demand, you can see based on product demand, niche demand. So when you are thinking about your opening your store, you have a store open, you want new products. If you're releasing products and you're taking advantage of demand, the chance of you selling more is going to be a lot higher. So most of the successful shops have high demand for what they're selling, and they're finding a way to take advantage of that. You don't need to get all the sales. You just need a piece of the pie, and you can do pretty well. The next is great customer service. They have 5-star reviews across the board. They respond to messages fast. People are super happy. They sell quality products, which is a big part of this. You can't just sell trash. This is going to kill you with reviews, and then it's going to kill you when it comes to SEO. So you got to make sure that you have really good customer service across the board, because it will inevitably hurt you if you don't, even if you start off strong. The next, and this is kind of a cliche one, but positive attitude. These people are in it every day, positive, putting in the work and not taking the time to be negative, and they're not, pissing and moaning on message boards about how Etsy sucks, about how they can't make it work. They are out doing it and making it happen. Things aren't always going well, but they are finding a way to make it happen and be positive about it. And one thing you really don't see is you don't see negative, successful people. It doesn't really work that way. If you're super negative, no one really wants to be around you. It's hard to build a business, because if you're not positive, things are just not working. If you have a negative outlook, then everything's going to be negative. Everything's going to be bad, and you're going to be frustrated and eventually stop. So think about it in a positive way. Take action. Focus on what you can control. I think that'll help a lot, and just put the time and effort into your business rather than negative energy towards anything else, complaining or whatnot. The next thing that I have, that's kind of a really good intangible, is great problem solving skills. So I've always said this, being an entrepreneur is being a problem solver. If you don't like dealing with problems and coming up with the solutions, then you're probably gonna hate being an entrepreneur, because it's gonna be non-stop problems that you have to solve. You're gonna get better at it the more that you do it. You're not gonna be as good at it early on, so it may be more frustrating, but you have to be able to solve problems that come up and use the resources available to you, which in this day and age, we have every resource available to us. The answer is always out there. The solution is always out there. You just have to find it, and kind of have that outlook when it comes to any problems that come up, which they certainly will. And the last intangible I have for you guys is being committed to learning, growing, and evolving. Running a business and having a business, especially online, there'll be changes frequently. You have to stay committed to learning about the changes and learning about the business and learning about how to be successful from other people that have done it, and then pivoting when necessary, when things change in the business world. There's a lot of factors at play when it comes to business, whether it's state and local regulations, federal regulations, platform changes, even in your particular niche, there's changes in demand, changes in product costs. All these things kind of come into play. So you always have to be mindful of what's going on, stay abreast of what's going on, and then be ready to pivot, because you can, again, back to problem solving, you can find a solution. There's always a solution out there, but businesses have to pivot all the time, and you're going to have to pivot. If what you're doing and what you've always done, one day you wake up and it stops working or not working as good, then focus on pivoting and taking action and finding a way to make that new thing or reinvent what you're doing to kind of make it work again. Because there is a way to do it, you just have to find it. That's it, guys. Those are the main things that I want to talk about today: the tangible and the intangible things that the quote-unquote good Etsy shops are doing and have in common. So look at your shop, look at your business. What of these things can you take away and start doing in your business? Formulate a plan to take action, make the necessary changes. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you have a plan and you're taking action, you can start to make changes, significant changes in your business in the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months. Set yourself up for the coming months and years to come, and you're going to be happy that you did it. But that is all I have for today. Also, if you haven't downloaded my free Etsy SEO success guide, make sure you guys get that at handmadeandbeyond.com/Etsy SEO success. It's everything you need to know about SEO, how to use it, how to get more traffic, how to get more sales, how to leverage that in your business. And also there's a lot of really good gold nuggets in there for you as well to implement in your business. But you can download that completely free. Read it, take action on it, and improve your business. But I'll be back really soon with another good episode for you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day.